What's up everybody? Lately there's been some confusion about the term zigzag running. A few owners have approached me and asked, and instead of putting it in words, which is rather difficult, I decided to make a video that we can have moving forward, which will show you a clear-cut definition of what zigzag running is and what is allowed and what is not allowed. The first scenario where zigzag running is prohibited is when you're on a breakaway and you have defenders trailing you. Right here, Adrian Peterson, he's got a linebacker just following him. As you can see, it's easy to move the stick right to left. You never really slow down or lose momentum or anything like that. The guy's dive and miss, clear exploit, just don't do it. In this example, you're going to see a draw play where it should go in between the left guard and the center, that area. Cuts it to the right, then immediately uses the stick to bring it back to the left. Kind of an S-shaped movement, very unnatural. What we're doing in this league, we're not trying to handcuff you too much, but we're going to give you this first break right here. Right there is a cut to the right, you're good. But when you cut it back to the left, that's a zigzag. You can't do it. If you want to move like that, use a juke. This draw run is an example of a good run. Right there you see the big hole to the right. You can run into that hole, use the left stick to get there. But when you want to make that next cut, you have to use the juke or the spin. This is a bad example of zigzagging. Right here in the halfback counter to shotgun, there's a huge hole right there between the guard and center. You can go ahead and use the left stick and cut up there. But as you see, I started zigzagging, exploiting the defender AI, and that's no good. This is another bad example of zigzag running that is not allowed. In the open field, McCoy has one blocker in front of him, two defenders coming. I use zigzagging to manipulate the defender's AI to running into my blocker. Because right now, he has the angle on me, I'm going to outrun my blocker. But using the zigzag method, I'm able to make that defender get caught up with my blocker, and it gives me 10 extra yards. The last bad example of zigzag running that I have for you from a running back is this halfback dive to the left. There's a huge hole created by the offensive line, but there's a defender who quickly fills it. We're not going to force you to run into the defender, and we're also not going to force you to have to use a juke move to get out of the way. Using the left stick to get into that hole on the right side of the center is fine. However, once you clear that hole, immediately jamming the stick to the left to create that S movement and completing the zigzag is an exploit and will not allow it. As you see, the defender who has a clear jump and should make that tackle in real life pretty much all the time gets completely dusted because Madden doesn't really account for the momentum and acceleration. The last example of running the football is going to be a positive one. LeSean McCoy is going to get the handoff. As you can see, the halfback dive to the right, the hole quickly fills by a blocker pushing his defender in that area. Of course, you can use the left stick to move over to the right, but once you get to that hole, that's when your next move needs to be either a juke or a spin. And don't pay too much attention to the animations it creates because this is just the rookie level. The last few clips are going to illustrate the exploits of zigzag running on special teams. Right here I get the punt, start zigzag running, and you can see the defensive AI kind of goes haywire. Number 32 is going to be the best example of that. As I start to move to the left, he follows me, I move back to the right, he follows me. He's completely out of position. Had I not cut back to the right, he would have been nowhere near that tackle. Next example of zigzag running is just on this kickoff. As you see, I run out to the right, and it just pushes all the defenders towards the sidelines. This small little clip just shows how zigzag running affects the defender AI in crazy ways. And finally, the last clip I have for you is showing the exploit on a kickoff. If you take a look at the Eagles kickoff gunner that I just started zigzagging widely with, it makes number 55 go haywire and he just can't block me. This is just the final exploit of zigzag running, and thank you for watching the video.